Hello and welcome to this feathered peacock pose tutorial, also known as Pincha Mayursana in Sanskrit. Depending on where you presently are on your journey, this might be a beginner's tutorial, an intermediate tutorial, or perhaps it's an advanced tutorial. So really respect what the body is telling you and honor your present energy levels. Before we get into the tutorial component of today's practice, we will be exploring a short sequence of asanas and dynamic movements that you can perform before you get into this posture to really ensure that you are in the right frame of mind, that you've nourished the body, and that you're ready to honor this practice. So let's get started coming into a forward fold. Taking your time. You might like to come into a halfway lift, bending and straightening the legs, the arms, the back a few times. Releasing any tension from the back of the neck, the lower back. Well done. From here we'll plant the palms down, step back into a plank pose. And we'll begin to shift our weight forwards and backwards, keeping the shoulder blades wide, core is engaged, quadriceps are firing. You might like to perform this for 5 to 10 rounds. And when you're ready, lowering down onto the forearms, walking the feet close to the elbows, coming into dolphin pose. You might like to stay in this posture for 5 to 10 breaths. Pressing firmly into the forearms, the palms, the fingertips to help lift up out of the shoulder girdle. Well done. From here, we will rest in child's pose. You might like to stay here for 5 to 10 breaths. And when you're ready, raising up into a seated position, interlacing your fingers together behind the back. And we'll again take child's pose, this time with a bind. This variation is going to help us open the chest, as well as stretch the upper back and the front of the deltoids. Knowing that you can stay here for as long as you like. And when you're ready, let us prepare for the tutorial component of this practice. For the purpose of this tutorial, we'll try 3 hand positionings. The first is going to be with the forearms elbow width apart. Another option is to have one palm on top of the other, or you can join your palms together, resting the blade edges of your hands against the earth. For our first demonstration, we'll start off with the arms parallel to the body, lowering down onto the forearms in dolphin pose, engaging the core, bending one knee, and we're going to kick up with the opposite leg. You might like to just practice raising and lowering that leg a few times. Perhaps drawing the knee into the chest, and when you feel that abdominal engagement, beginning to extend both legs skywards, pointing the toes, and gently release. Well done. And although one leg might be stronger than the other, it's important that we try kicking up with both legs so that we can foster that state of harmony within the body. And know that you have the option to practice this posture against a wall. When you release from the posture, you might like to rest in child's pose for about 10 or so breaths. And now let's try with our palms together, pressing down through the blade edges of the hand, elbows are underneath the shoulders. And again, we'll mindfully kick up, raising one leg, and eventually raising the second leg to join the first leg. And while muscles are strong, bones are stronger, so doing your best to stack the ankles, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, the elbows all in one line. You have the option to look at the floor between your elbows, or you can keep your neck elongated and look in front of you. Lowering down with control. Know that you can pause for as long as you like between postures. And I'll demonstrate the third variation straight away, placing one palm atop of the other. For this variation, we still want to ensure that our elbows are underneath the shoulders. Walking the feet in close to the torso, bending one knee and kicking up with the opposite leg. Channeling energy upwards through the toes, really turning on the core here. And lowering down one leg at a time. Okay, friends, thank you so much for tuning in to this feathered peacock pose tutorial. I hope that it's been helpful. Know that variations differ from person to person, so have a play around with it, see what feels interesting, and know that the wall is always here as a resource to support you. Keep showing up, keep smiling, and keep having fun. Sending you love and light. May you be well. Namaste.